The last resort. You know what the biggest problem with 90-day fiancé men? They're not men. That's the problem. And that's something that we're going to dive into in this video, because you see, that's going to be the theme. And some of you are going to be on board and some of you are going to be against me, but I love it. So let's not waste any time, and we're going to begin with this first one here. And this one's continuing from the situation that happened with Zeid and Rebecca.
We talk about the fight or flight, and you're choosing to walk away right now during this conversation.
God, here we go.
Interestingly enough, in this conversation, this is the conversation that Rebecca chose to walk away.
Sometimes I think you broke the relationship because we're not getting any good communication between us. So,
okay, cool. Rebecca always wants to run away when things get tough. And it's crazy because she does it because she knows that when she runs away and then comes back, at that point she gets to regain control again over the situation. At any time that Zeid feels the need to have a backbone, he wants to stand on business, he wants to obviously defend his corner, she walks away and then comes back later on. So therefore she has that high ground again. Honestly, the fact that this man is still with this woman is mind-boggling. She shows you no respect. A relationship with no respect from either partner is not a relationship. But hey, some people are weak enough to want to tolerate it. And that's one of the things that disappoints me about Zeid within this relationship. Willing to tolerate her BS. No, don't tolerate disrespect.
because right now we be back to where we started. I said to Rebecca, I want a real wife. I don't mean Rebecca, she's a bad wife. I just want her to give me time to be not busy. But
I understand what he's saying. All he's simply saying is that our lives feel like as if all we ever do is basically just go to work, come back, and then go to bed. That's it. He's saying that we don't have a relationship. You work 14 to 16 hours. By the time you come home, I'm probably already tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. It's not about the fact that you don't cook and clean. No. It's about the fact that we just don't have something very simple, and that is called quality time. So maybe one of Zeid's love languages is quality time. And if it is one of his higher ranking ones, then it makes sense for him to feel the way he feels. But of course, he needs to be able to find the right words. Now, I will say this though. Throughout this season so far, myself and other people have given, you being other people, have given Rebecca a hard time for not being patient enough to allow Zeid to actually get to the point. And I still stand by that. But at the same time though, how long has he been with Rebecca? He should know by now that if he needs to say anything to her, he needs to already think about it and have his point ready to be said right then and there. You can't continue living this life where you're like, well, but she doesn't give me a chance to say what I gotta say because, you know, it takes me time to find my words because of language. But no, if you know how she works, then you should know how to tackle her. And this is what I'm saying. These men annoy me now. They're allowing themselves to be disrespected by their partners. And this is not cool. But listen, let's continue.
she leave or we leave and nothing get changed in our relationship with the therapy, and maybe we're gonna break up.
Oh my God.
Listen, a breakup is exactly what should have happened a long time ago. But this is the problem though, isn't it, with this show? The couple's there's always somebody in the relationship that says, well, if this doesn't improve, then we'll break up. But guess what? You're still together. So what the hell are you talking about?
God, I can't listen to her. How does he even her? How? I don't understand.
And that is a very good question. I mean, many of us can also ask Sarper the same question. How does he even sleep with you? Because all you do is moan and complain. But hey, that's a whole other topic. Either way though, how does he actually ever get to a point where he feels aroused by Rebecca? She never shows anything about her that gives any sort of sexy, feminine vibe. Everything she ever does is gives aggressive vibes. Aggressive, angry vibes. So I can understand. Fully understand. I mean, I wonder how many times that, you know, despite the fact that she works 14 to 16-hour shifts, I wonder how many times over the years they've been together where, you know, or maybe in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, he's come home, she's somehow been home before him, and she's there on the bed, dressing something that he likes, you know what I mean, sets the tone, and says, hey, baby, let's get romantic. I wonder how many times she's done that. You know, I wonder how many times she has literally made herself presentable, like, boom. But then at the same time, though, I also wonder how many times that he has maybe prepared something nice and romantic and sweet for her before she gets home to even get her in the mood. Moral of the story is these two don't seem to have the compatibility to actually get each other in the mood romantically, passionately. Seems to me that these are two people that are just living together and just having sex, and that's it. Having sex with headaches. Sex with headaches makes no sense to me. Oh my days. But hey, if it works for you, then I guess it clearly shows how broken your relationship really is, because it shouldn't be working. But hey folks, we're gonna move on to the next one now. Oh yeah.
And he's like, I have to teach him. I'm tired of being a teacher. Like, I couldn't sleep last night because he got his man and I got nothing.
That he does not reciprocate and take care of her. I think very simply, a lot of their marital issues could literally be solved if he would just kitty.
Oh yeah, let's dive into this one. Let's rip into Russ real quick. Poala is many things. But and I said this before and I'll say it again. Poala isn't that much of a hard work. She's an easy woman to please because she makes it abundantly clear what she wants and what she requires. All she wants is a man that's going to stand up to her, tell her when she's wrong, and a man that's definitely going to give her the smackdown in the bedroom that is the right way. We've already learned so far from this season that these two don't have passionate intimacy. It hasn't been a thing in their relationship. So much to the point that she's the one that pleases him, but he never pleases her back. I question why she's even still with him, to be honest with you. But I reckon for me personally, Poala is just as weak as him. She's still with him because of the comfortability of the control that she has in this relationship. And she probably still does love him at the same time, but the fact that she's accepting bare minimum in the bedroom is nuts. Don't marry somebody that gives you the bare minimum in the bedroom, I promise you now, folks. And I'm not saying the bedroom is everything, but the bedroom activities is definitely a key part of a relationship and its success and its health. Alright? So the fact that she still tolerates him blows her mind, but the fact that this man sits there complaining and moaning about how Poala does this, Poala does that, but hold on, buddy, but at what point in your relationship have you actually stood up and said, you know what, baby, I'm the man in the house. You know what, baby, I'm going to tell you exactly how things are going to go down. You know what, baby, listen, how about you come here right now, okay? You know what you got to do? Lay on that bed. Get yourself in that position where daddy likes you. You know what I mean? Then go down and enjoy that. Enjoy that shit. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. How many times does he actually, turn up? How many times does he, come home? Or maybe she gets home and he just literally just pulls up against the wall, grabs her by the neck. Sensibly, of course, respectfully. You know what I mean, okay? Whispers a few things in her ears, maybe even just breathes on her. Gives her kisses in nice places. How many times has he actually tried to even show her that he can be a freak? He's with a freak, but he doesn't want to be a freak. Maybe that makes sense. But at the same time, though, how is she a freak, but she's not with somebody that's a freak? The biggest problem with Poala and Russ is that they're both each other's problems. They're not a match. They've never been a match, they never will be a match. I don't know why Paul is still with him and I don't know why he's still with her. No. I believe the reason why he's still with her is because he doesn't believe he could aesthetically find a woman that is better looking than Poala. That's why he's still with her. It's the aesthetics part. Do I believe he loves her? I don't know. Do I believe that she loves him? I mean, she must do if she's still sticking around. But the question is, though, what do they love about each other? Maybe she loves the lifestyle. The convenience of the fact that she gets away with murder, even though she's not satisfied in one room, in one area. Well, what does he like about the relationship with her? He just likes the fact that he can walk around and say, hey, buddies, look at my sexy wife. Huh? She's a wrestler. Huh? Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it's because they've got a kid. Well, we've got a kid together, so we've got to make it work. Or maybe it's every single one of those reasons. The matter of the fact is, Russ is no man. He's a complete weak... He needs to up his game and start showing her who the boss is in the bedroom and also outside the bedroom. And then and therefore she will gain respect for him. If she doesn't gain respect for him, then I guess maybe my theory is off. Either way, the whole thing is a calamity. Their relationship isn't that difficult. If a woman like Paula, easy to you know what I'm saying, like, but at the same time, though, for me personally, I don't like headaches. If I have a woman that gives me too many headaches, I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm the man. You know what I mean? But like, I'm only going to be the man if it's a situation where you make it easy from the get-go. You understand there's respect between the one of us. You know what I mean? But if I gotta put in work to actually put you in your place all the time, I ain't got time for that. Every time I gotta remind you things, I ain't got time for that. I like peace too much. You know what I mean? I know my shit is my peace, but my peace is more important. But let's continue.
I feel like he feels way too secure of me because I haven't had the guts to actually make the step to divorce him.
And this is the thing, you know, why is he still with somebody that always feels the need to threaten with divorce? And also, why is she still with somebody that she has to also feel the need to threaten with divorce? Power play, right? It's absolutely pathetic.
This isn't the first time that I've heard Pal threatening Russ with divorce. But right now, Russ started to really notice that he's messing up and he was...
Buddy, wake up. This is how I know you're not a very good therapist. You know what I'm saying? I should be in your job. You really think this is the first time Russ has actually decided to, you know, recognize this situation? Do you really think it's the first time he's recognized that maybe he is what you say he is?
Is that he's messing up and he was the root cause of the way that she feels today.
You think that he hasn't noticed this before? These two are the same person. Trust me, any issue that they're going through right now, they have both acknowledged it before, but neither one of them wanted to put in the work to make the change that is necessary. That is the bottom line, buddy. Don't act as if this is the first time he's actually recognized that he's the root of a lot of his own problems. Don't act like this is the first time that she's recognized that maybe she's also the root of some of their problems as well. No. These two are two people that live in that Groundhog Day. You know, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. In my humble opinion, I don't believe their relationship is salvageable. I feel like even if he was to step up, even if he was to become the man that I'm saying he's supposed to be, I feel like they're so far gone that, to be honest with you, potentially, it may even still force Paul to then fight back even harder. But hey, where there's hope, there's hope. So sometimes you still got to take the hope. But when it came to Between the Sheets, though, this was something else that was added between these two.
Do you ever think about going through with your threat?
I don't think I ever grabbed anything, but I did see an attorney and I talked to the attorney about it. What? Yeah.
That did surprise me. I was like, okay. But what happened? Why didn't you follow through?
Before I went to England, we were saying goodbye to our son, and he went, nobody's left behind. So as soon as he said that, my son immediately says, and look at me, yeah, because my mom wants to break up the family. My son is...
No parent wants to hear those type of words.
7. And I look at Ross, and I'm like, how dare you? Like, it's not okay.
And it's crazy because, guess what? You're still with the guy. Still with the guy. I'm not saying that reason alone is enough for, you know, for someone to not be with someone. But at the end of the day, Paula, this is why I say what I say in terms of that. Paula isn't a difficult woman, because really and truly, right, if she really was about her business, she would have left him a long time ago. The fact that she still sticks around and tolerates all this tells me everything I need to know. If I was to walk into Paula's life right now, are you crazy? A real man walked into her life right now. I'm telling you now, she's gonna become the most feminine. She's always gonna be the one that melts around you all the time. All the time. She'll still give you a headache every now and then because it's in her nature. You know what I mean? I don't mean that because she's Latin. No, I'm just saying it's just in her nature, right? She just has that in her. But trust me, she would love you and look after you like there's no tomorrow. That's why I believe that she has got some love for this guy, and that's why she ain't looking to leave him. But either way, though, the fact that she always makes empty threats means that really and truly she's a delicate person underneath all of that. But hey, let me know your thoughts on that one. But now we'll move on to the next one. So I just ripped into Russ, right? I did say to you folks, listen, I'm about to rip into some of these men because it's diabolical. You know, Russ's relationship because of him. But this one right here.
Our son is going to be bullied are there.
I think about everything I do with my son as the epicenter of every move I make. Even before that, I loved you down.
Unpopular opinion you're going to hear right now. What if I told you that G never loved Cara? What if I told you that G loved the idea of Cara? Not who she is as a person, but the idea of Cara. But you got to think about it. You know, he met this very beautiful American woman. You know, and she was like, yeah, I'll bring her to America. Yeah, I'll marry you. Yeah, you get a green card. And he probably loved the idea of leaving his home, coming to America, and doing what? Chasing dreams. The last time we saw them happily ever after, we found out that he has had job after job after job. And he's also tried to chase dream after dream after dream. So basically, commitment and consistency is not one of his traits, which is bad. Bad. But at the same time, though, what if I told you that he was expecting to come to America and actually have to live off Cara? Because you got to think about it. If somebody is in a position where they feel the need and the comfortability to leave job after job after job, to chase dream after dream after dream, they do it because they believe that the person that they're with is going to financially have them no matter what. If they don't have a person, they feel like they believe that the family member or the friend, there's always that security that they have. So for me personally, I feel like he loved the idea of Kara. And I feel like because he didn't get what he wanted, this is why he's always giving a hard time. But bear with me. Like I said, unpopular opinion. Bear with me. So far, obviously, he's brought up the conversation regarding, obviously, our son may be bullied because of your actions. Don't contest that.
We're separate. Everything else I've done in our whole relationship doesn't matter. I'm completely unseen.
And I do believe that she probably has been unseen. You know what you have to understand, folks, right? Over the years, it's been easy for us to look at Kara as the villain. It's been easy for us to look at someone like Paula as the villain. I mean, people even forget about how Sarper isn't a nice guy. We saw him in the first season, how moving mad he really is. But because since then he's redeemed himself and Shekinah has continued being the way she is, people see her as the only villain in that relationship. And it's annoying because people then get blind themselves from remembering that just because somebody is always genuinely a villain, you've also got to wonder, but why is this person this way? And also, production does do their things, but hold on a minute.
And if you felt that Guillermo could see you, do you think that things would be different between the two of you?
I don't know if that makes a difference in us being, like, together forever or not. But damn, it would just make me feel like a better person.
To be honest with you, darling, it's not really about him seeing you, to be honest. I mean, it is about him seeing you, but it's more than that in my opinion, but we'll get there when we get there.
Selling adult content,
Okay.
it does not make me feel proud. The reason why I ask her,
Okay.
if she would just stop selling that kind of stuff, is with a relationship with her, it's gonna have to be with those terms. That's it.
Okay, let's talk about it. Terms. What does that even mean? If before you say terms, you've got to know what you mean. Now, I'm going to tell you this now, and this, like I said before, the men in the show really are starting to drive me up the wall because none of them are actually being men. They're not playing their role. I don't give a damn about how standards have changed in today's society, about how back in the day, the man provided and the woman was there for the kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you this now, that hasn't changed. That mentality hasn't changed. Even though nowadays, obviously, men and women can both equally have a job, both equally have equal pay, and both equally can also bring in income to the household, okay? Even if you're in that situation, the roles still don't change regarding the fact that the man is still the man of the house. Because at the end of the day, 10 times out of 10, a woman's always looking for the man to lead. The only time women forget about the man looking to lead is if that woman has been put through a life where she's always had to be in a masculine area because no man, no parent, no friend has ever had her back. So therefore, she's had to step up, had to be independent, had to get a job, had to have, had to look after herself, had to look after her kids, you know what I mean? And obviously when women get put in that situation for such a long time, it can be hard for them to come out of that when they do meet a man that is actually willing to lead. But it doesn't change the fact that genetically, I'm telling you now, women are always seeking to find a man that's going to lead and protect them. Point blank, period. So this man talks about terms. You want to talk about her and this adult content every single episode. And again, I don't agree with her being on OnlyFans whilst having a child. To be fair, I don't agree in general. But at the same time, though, how can you go to the woman, to the mother of your child and say to her, well, you know what? I'm only going to take you back. I'm only going to consider you. Consider us. If you leave OnlyFans, but yet he doesn't have a solution for her. We always talk about what do you bring to the table, right? I don't really like the topic about what you bring to the table. But at the same time, sometimes the context matters. And in this context here, okay, you're asking her to stop doing something that is giving her financial benefit it gives her financial benefit for us to pay the bills, to be able to feed your child, and also, I guess, to also pay for her career, right? But here's the thing, though. If she left all of that for you, are you going to help her pay for the bills? Are you going to help her pay for your child? Are you going to help her support in her career? Now, I know you're going to say, well, he's been doing that kind of. Well, he hasn't. Because remember, like I said before, this man has been in and out of jobs. He has never ever prioritized a financial stability for his family. A man is supposed to prioritize a financial stability for his family. Even if he's chasing a dream, he still needs to have a job that's going to prioritize the stability of his family. Because at the end of the day, if you decide that you want to marry someone, you decide that you want to have a child with somebody, or you accidentally have a child, but you're still going to be there, you still need to have that financial stability. So at the end of the day, as much as I disagree with what Cara is choosing to do to bring in money to herself, at the same time, if I'm in that position, well, first off, if I'm in a position, I ain't putting my wife in a position where she's ever needing to think about even going to OnlyFans first and foremost. You see what I'm saying? That's never gonna happen, point blank, period. And even if we broke up and we share a child, I'm still definitely stepping up to make sure that she doesn't even think about doing something like that. But obviously, I'm going to be there financially to support my child, even if I'm with her or not. The matter of the fact is, are you there to financially support your child? That is the key question. If you're not there to financially support your child right now, and she feels that this is her way of paying the money, well then guess what? So be it. If your child now has to pay the sins of being bullied because mummy's online, well guess what, buddy? As the father, you could have put a stop by it by saying, you know what? Listen, don't do that. I'm actually I'm gonna go and get a job. I'm gonna make sure that I obviously gonna give you the money that you need to look after our child because I don't want you online. Has he done that? No. All he says is, I don't want you. You keep selling this and that. But not once have I heard him say anything about a solution. One of the reasons why women like to have a man that leads is because men are built to find solutions. That is the idea. Usually women think of ideas and the man is the one that comes in with the solutions. You know what I mean? Generally speaking, right? Somebody please tell me, at what point has he said anything about giving her a solution? But like I said before, this man, he's only trying to do things where he wants to be in control, where he feels that he can benefit from it. Like I said before, I don't believe he's ever loved her. I feel like he loved the idea of her. And it hasn't worked out for him because he thought that he was going to be able to come to America and chase dreams and live off her back. It's that simple. You know what I mean? But here's the thing though. Could he live off her back now, given the fact that she's doing OF? Yes, he could. But due to family, it would be too embarrassing for him to be with a woman that's provided him via OnlyFans. And that's why he cannot be with her, because it's an embarrassment to him, because his family will judge him. But I promise you now, if she was doing something else that the family didn't even know about, that was still sketchy, he wouldn't even say anything. He'd be on a hush hush. But listen, maybe I'm moving mad. Let me know your thoughts. But let's continue because I'm sick and tired of this guy. All he wants to do is complain about she does this, she does that. Not once have I heard him say anything about giving them a solution. And also, let's not forget, it has been reported, rumored, that this man only sees his child once a freaking week. Once a freaking week. Get the hell out of here, man. Come on now.
If she doesn't want to do it, I'm out of it.
I would never have done it if it wasn't a need.
Yeah. So,
A need.
Guillermo,
It was not a need.
That's not for you to decide. You don't live with me. You don't pay my bills.
No, when you started, it was not a need.
When she started, it wasn't a need. Okay, well, back it up then. You can say it wasn't a need, but okay, but back it up then. Well, what proof do you have of this? Oh yeah, his proof is was when you started this was to fund for your musical career. I mean, listen, whether or not that is true or not, either way though, when she decided to do it and to fund for a musical career, did you say to her, no, don't do that, I'm going to help you? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just did nothing like that. It's like, again, he wants to complain like a little baby, but he has no solutions. I don't like people that don't have solutions. If you're a man, okay, and your woman is moving mad, if you want to stop moving mad, come up with a solution. But of course, if it's a case of where she's moving mad to the point where even if you come with a solution, she's still disrespecting you or whatever, then fair enough, leave. You see what I'm saying? Don't leave and complain if you haven't even tried to give a solution. But even if you give a solution and she doesn't, and she rejects it, leave, but don't complain. Because what benefit do you have as a man to complain? What benefit do you have? You don't. You're just wasting your own time. But let's move on to the next one anyway.
Thank you guys.
Killed it.
I didn't like seeing Sarper helping Thais. You know, if roles were reversed, I don't think Patrick would have helped me. This was an
Shekinah. I mean, listen, there's a fair point being made here. You know, at the end of the day, the task was built on, you know, helping your partner come down from this thing, and the idea was to listen to your partner, and you're all protecting harnesses, so no one's actually going to get hurt. So I can understand her to a certain degree, but goddamn, girl, have some heart.
Human being, and I see a person there terrified.
She was not going to fall. She's secured with ropes. I felt like you were a traitor doing that.
Oh my God.
They're not loyal.
Savage. There's no need for it, really and truly, but let's continue.
If the roles were reversed, I mean, I'm sure I would have helped Shekinah. Because when you're in
I find interesting though that on Between the Sheets now, when he's asked the question, he says, if the roles were reversed, I'm sure I would have. That doesn't give us certainty. So maybe Shekinah was on something. Maybe she's got a point. Maybe she has got a point that, Patrick would have left me for dead. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that Sarper should do the same thing to Thais. Two wrongs don't make a right.
in that moment, like if something happens, you think they might die. So
I think that the exercise was to learn to communicate with your partner. And so when I saw that he started helping Thais, he wasn't listening to me anymore. Her husband was supposed to help her, and I was supposed to help him.
And it is a fair point. It is a fair point. But again, though, to still penalize him for helping somebody else, still not needed. I mean, let's look at the bright side. The bright side, Shekinah, is that at least you know your husband has survival instincts. At least you know that, if you're ever in danger, he's going to actually want to save you. If he's willing to save someone else, he's obviously going to save you. He's going to go above and beyond. Look at the positive, you miserable woman.
Choosing to do that. Like, I'm his wife. I'm supposed to guide him down the side of the cliff. And that was the assignment. And I feel like we failed it.
I mean, listen, in the end of the day, Shekinah will be Shekinah. Do you know what I mean? There's no help in this one. This one's a lost soul. You know what I'm saying? Let me just go back a little bit. So obviously, I said before, a woman like Paula, she ain't challenging. I stand by that. But a woman like Shekinah, no, she's challenging. She's challenging. Now I'm good. I wouldn't want that challenge, to be honest with you. I'm good. You leave your headache stuff all the way over there. You know what I mean? You're way much more screwed up than what Paula is. You know what I mean? It's a calamity. But anyway, with that being said, though, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.